we'll bring kids into the lab, into here. It's usually a kid that is pretty involved, typically. We'll bring them in and we'll determine what are the kind of things that they're not doing that they need help. Sometimes just a kid that we know like maybe needs some communication or feeding themselves or mobility. That's what we'll do. So from there, once we've evaluated the kid, we write up our assessment, we give the teacher an idea of what to do, and then we follow up with them in the classroom. So kind of one of our main goals is we want to make sure that there's no activity that a kid does here that they're just sitting, that they're unable to do. When we think about assistive technology, we want to hit every single aspect. So we want to hit fine motor, gross motor, speech, communication, literacy, computer, eating. I mean, we know there are so many things our kids need, and so we don't want to be short-sighted. We don't want to focus too much on one thing and then forget, like, oh yeah, he probably needs to move, or oh, he definitely needs to learn how to pick up a cup and drink it. The things that there's just so many things, and so that's what this team affords us, is all these different ideas and thoughts that we don't miss things. I'd heard about them and just was kind of unsure, but basically it's just a tiny touchscreen for our kiddos, So the apps that have been available to us have been amazing. For me, from this position, one of the more amazing things is the communication apps. Now they're pumping out communication apps like crazy. So for our kids that are able to access and isolate fingers and things like that, instead of an $8,000 device, we can even tell the parents, like, do you have $500? You can buy this right now. And insurance is starting to cover them, but for our parents that are able, we've got the communication, the ability, to communicate. It doesn't work for all of our kids. I mean, some of our kids are obviously going to need this type of technology. They're going to need just for access reasons. But for a lot of our kids, it's been amazing. Probably the number one thing that I love them for is the books. For our kids that are physically challenged, I have always struggled with how can we let our kids who are physically challenged read books, because kids read books. That's what they do. They bring you their favorite book. They read the same page over and over again. They flip the pages before you're done. It's so aggravating, but they're gonna get to that one page that they love so much. And our kids don't do that. They can't do that. For our physically challenged kids, they just can't do that. They cannot explore books in the same way. So I had bought page turners where you have to thread each page of a book and hit the switch and the pages would fall out, and but I thought it's better than nothing. At least the kid is able to, you picked your book and now you can turn the pages, you can go forward and backward. I tried making PowerPoint books on the computer, which is so time consuming. I mean, it just takes so long to get one book, and by the time you get it done, the kid doesn't like that book anymore, and they don't have the same amount of choices, and so with the iPad, you can give them exactly that. They can pick their books, they can turn the page, they can go back, they can stop reading the book, they can do the exact same thing. So like for years I had waited for that perfect system, and I feel like that is the closest we've come so far. Like for our kids that had never read a book on their own, and it'll read it out loud, which is even better.